it was an email, and it said, you were in the same building as a person who had COVID. You know, and the building has, I don't know, 48 stories or something like that. But you may have been riding in the same elevator, or you may have touched the same elevator button or whatnot. So that was, of course, in hindsight, it sounds silly, but everybody was scared, and for a good reason. I do work with a physician who actually has my utmost admiration for what he did during those times. He actually allowed an ABC7 team, I think, into the ICU during the height of COVID. It is not. I mean, it's like a horror movie. You know, it was. It was not pretty to see, and what was going on was not. I mean, I just don't know how our guys did it. Our healthcare first line providers. It and so we couldn't do it. Well, you know, I suppose I could have donned on you know, a biohazard suit and try to go in and do something, but I'm not a brave person, quite the opposite. And so I was genuinely scared. And so the only way that my team and most of our guys could help was to answer the main question that our management had: how bad is it going to get? And so that was like March 2020, the end of March 2020, beginning of April. And so, and the curve, the infection curve, was going up exponentially, like e to the power of X. And then there was no end in sight. And so they were trying to figure out what should we expect? Should we expect 300 patients in our hospital, 3,000, 30,000? And so what my team did, we got the data. We got the data from Chicago, from the county, from the state, and we kind of aggregated that data and created a fairly simple SIR, they call it, susceptible, infected, recovered model. It's a standard model known since the 1920s. But there were a few little twists. So I took some of the approaches that I use in finance, specifically what's called bootstrapping, used to calculate different interest rates. And I applied that technique to this model. I think that was the only kind of novel thing that we did compared to many others who did exactly the same thing. And so we came up with a model that was reasonably accurate given the circumstances, answered the questions that our management was looking to see. They were not looking to see exactly how many patients will be there tomorrow, but they were trying to figure out, well, what's the ballpark? What's the kind of the ratio of what we have today to what we're going to have in a week's time? And so that helped. And then in the end, we actually did one other thing that I'm not aware of anybody else doing that. So we looked at the accuracy of this model, and it turned out that the model was, in some instances, was okay, especially with respect to short-term predictions. Didn't do as well with respect to long-term predictions, but that's, you know, nobody expected us to. And so